All right, so this is going to be for Monday, April 25th, which is a white day, and it'll also be for Tuesday, April 26th, which is a red day. So what you're going to end up doing is we are going to focus on the two main learning targets for this quarter, which is infer and explain author's point of view and perspective, and then compare author's texts on similar topics. So I'm going to kind of show you what you're going to end up doing. So you're going to go to the reading writing course. You're going to click on your assignments, and it's going to drop down. You're going to find the one that says purpose, point of view, and perspective practice. You're going to click on that, and it's going to open up and look like this. Okay, so essentially you can do all steps throughout just on this particular document because I have links and stuff set up for you. But essentially what you're going to do is you're going to be reading different articles. Now, I know over here it says practice 1, 2, 3, and 4. You are not going to do all 4 today. The only ones you're going to do are 1 and 2. And we're essentially going to do number 1 together. Okay, so we'll do number 1 together, and then you guys will do number 2 by yourselves based off how we kind of did number 1. Okay, so as you're going to see, we're actually going to be doing 2 different debates. So this question of should you get paid to recycle, it has a debate section, so I'm going to show you that in a second. But essentially there's a yes section, and there's a person that says yes, and they're going to have a claim. They're going to have that point of view and that perspective, which we're going to fill in. And then there's a no section that says, nope, that's not what I want to do. They'll have a claim, point of view, and perspective as well. And then at the very end, we're going to compare and kind of talk about the similarities and differences. Okay, so in order to get to this, goodness gracious, this article, it's going to be in scope. So you're going to click on it, and it's going to bring you to a login like this. Do not hit the X out. I want you to hit log in, and you're going to log in as a student. Maybe if it'll keep working. There we go. And then the password is EX20. I think it's 2122 actually. So you're going to do that, and you're going to click sign in. So EX2122, and then you have access to all this in scope. Okay. So I'm actually going to read some of this to you, and then you'll have to do the other one on your own. So anyways. So essentially what it's going to do is it's going to kind of give you an idea of what the situation is. So I'll explain that in a second. But then after that, you're going to see there is a yes section, and then there is a no section. And based off that yes and no, there's 2 different people that have written to it. And then you are going to, as a class, or as you and I are going to fill in the purpose, point of view, perspective, for the yes section, and then the purpose, point of view, perspective for the no section. And then we'll come up with that comparison. Okay, so when I'm typing, I'm going to have you type. So if you need to pause at any point, if you need to, whatever it is that you need to do to make sure you get what I have typed in here, that's what I'm going to ask for you to do. Okay? All right, so again, you should be logged in here. Again, if you did not do that yet, you need to click on that link, this one right here, and it will take you to a login screen. You'll log in as a student, and the password is EX2122. All right, the situation. The U.S. produces nearly 300 million tons of trash each year. So what happens to all that garbage? About half of it ends up in landfills, where it will sit for centuries, giving off harmful gases as it slowly degrades. A lot of trash also ends up in lakes and rivers, on beaches, and out in the ocean, where it can harm plants and animals. Recycling helps keep a lot of waste out of the landfills and places where it can cause harm. Cardboard and paper typically go to the paper mill. There they get made into new paper products like cereal boxes and notebooks. Plastic, glass, and metal go to a separate facility where giant machines crush or melt them so they can be used for new items like soda bottles and tuna fish cans. Today, in most places in the U.S., you can leave your recyclables, your milk cartons and yogurt cups and mac and cheese boxes out on the curb, and the city will pick them up and recycle them for you. But 10 states also have what are known as bottle bills. In these states, everyone pays more. An extra 2 to 15% or 15 cents per bottle or can for certain drinks. If you turn the empty bottles and cans in for recycling by taking them to a redemption center or putting them into what's known as a reserve vending machine, you get that money back. These bottle bills have sparked a debate. Should we get paid to recycle, or should doing the right thing be reward enough? All right, so then we're going to have 2 different perspectives. So that's just what they're saying is like, hey, this is what recycling is. This is what being paid for recycling looks like, that kind of thing. So should this happen or should it not? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do this yes section first. So we're just going to read what Michelle Green has to say about this, and then we'll fill in the chart on the assignment. Okay, so it says, yes, give people a reason to recycle. Bottle bills are a great idea, and more states should have them. Why? Research shows that these laws get more people to recycle, and getting more people to recycle is imperative, meaning it's very important. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, only 32% of all the waste produced in the U.S. is recycled or composted. 32%. Just think how much less waste would end up in landfills if more people recycled. Bottle bills work. As I said, bottle bills are effective. According to the Container Recycling Institute, 60% of beverage containers get recycled in states that with bottle bills. In the states that do not have bottle bills, recycling rates only about 24%, so that's 36% difference. Clearly, giving people money encourages them to recycle, and there's enough benefit to bottle bills. They cut down on litter. A 2019 study of trash along coastlines, where a lot of trash eventually ends up, found that in states without bottle bills, bottles and cans accounted for about 18% of all litter. In states, bottles and cans accounted for less than 9% of all litter. That's a really big difference. In a perfect world, the fact is, there are many benefits to recycling beyond reducing the amount of waste sent to landfills. Recycling saves energy and reduces pollution. It even creates jobs. A 2016 EPA report found that recycling accounted for nearly 700,000 jobs. The more we recycle, the cleaner and better off our communities and our planet will be. Now, some people believe we shouldn't need a reward for doing things that help the environment, and I agree. In a perfect world, we would all recycle simply because it's the right thing to do. But we don't live in a perfect world, so why not provide an extra incentive for people to recycle? What matters is that we all recycle as much as possible. The reason we do it is less important. Helping communities. Here's something else to consider. Bottle bills help communities. For example, in Connecticut, people can donate bottles and cans to a group called Cans for Kids. The group returns the recyclables and donates most of the money it gets to the Connecticut Children's Medical Center. So far, the group has donated more than $500,000. Helping others while also helping our environment seems like a win-win to me. Okay, so that was her take on it. And she's saying that, yeah, people should get paid to recycle. So over here on this assignment, we are basically going to write the claim. Why is this? What is the purpose? What is the purpose of this article? And so if we look at it too, and I'm going to show you one that we actually did in class today. And you can kind of pick and choose because these are just things that we talked about in class. So one class said people should get paid to recycle. That's essentially what the claim is. Because she's saying, yeah, they should get paid to recycle. Another class said give people a reason to recycle. And if people get paid to recycle, it'll encourage more people to recycle. So all of those kind of work. But that's their purpose. That's their claim. So I want you to choose one of those or maybe say it a little bit differently for yourself. What is Michelle's claim? What is she saying? What is she saying? Okay. Then we go to the next point, which is point of view. Point of view is who wrote it? What do we know about them? So Michelle Green is her name. She's a student because if you're looking at the actual picture, she's a younger student. So we also know that she did some research because there's facts in there. Something else we can add here is that she also is a Scope writer. So Scope actually asked her to write something for this. So that also gives her some ground to stand on as well. So having that in there is really important. Okay. Then we get to the perspective. So what exactly, how does she feel about recycling? How does she feel about bottle bills? How does she feel about whatever's happening? And then how do you know? So she said that people should recycle. Helps make our planet cleaner. People should have an incentive, which is payment to recycle. Then everyone wins. So that's what she's thinking. So, I mean, that's just kind of what we ended up saying on that one. If you think of something else that's also on there, you could even put down something along the lines of, let's see. I want to say communities. Communities also benefit from recycling. Okay, you say that as well. Okay, all right. So we're going to go ahead and again, I want you to make sure that you have these things filled out. If you say it a little bit different, that's fine. But I wanted you to focus on the purpose. Why write this? What is the claim? That's what the purpose says. Point of view, who wrote it? What do you know about them? Again, we don't know a whole lot about them, but we know their name. We know they're a student. We know there's some research in it. We also know that she's with the Scope Writers. Okay. The perspective, again, you're just putting down what is her perspective. How do you know that? How do they feel about this particular topic? Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go back and we're going to read the no section. So helping our planet is the only reward that we need. Bottle bills are outdated and send the wrong message. That's why I think we should get rid of them. Let me explain. The first bottle bills were passed in the 1970s and 1980s when the whole idea that everyone should recycle was pretty new. But now most places have universal recycling programs. We simply place recyclables on the curb to be picked up by sanitation workers. With convenient programs like this, recycling has never been easier. Why lug a bag of bottles to a redemption center when you can put them outside your front door? In 2010, Delaware did away with the bottle bills for this exact reason: waste of money. It's true that states with bottle bills have higher recycling rates for bottles and cans, but those are not the only items that should be recycled. What about paper? Paper makes up about 1/4 of the trash in the U.S. Besides, recycling costs money. Having bottle bills and universal recycling programs is a waste of money. It makes more sense to have one system that makes it easy to recycle everything at once. But the real issue with bottle bills isn't cost or convenience. It's that rewarding people for recycling sends the message that taking care of the environment is optional, when in fact it's an obligation. Earth is the only home we've got. It's our responsibility to take care of it. The real problem. The fact is, we have a garbage problem that we can't recycle our way out of. What we really need to do is stop buying so much stuff that gets thrown out. Instead of plastic water bottles, we should choose reusable ones, for instance. Remember that slogan, reduce, reuse, recycle? Those words are listed in that order for a reason. Think of it this way. We get to live on a planet that has everything we need to survive, but only if we take care of it will we get to keep breathing its air, growing food in its soil, and drinking its water. Keeping Earth healthy should be the only reward we need. Okay, so again, that's his take on it. It's his perspective on it as well. So we go down here. Purpose. This is the no section. So purpose. People should not get paid to recycle. Recycling is an obligation for all people. Okay, so we stole that word from his actual take on it, but I feel like those are his claims. Those are his claims. It's this big claim that people should not get paid to recycle. And that's why, because it's an obligation. Okay, who wrote it? We know that his name is Jack Berman. He's a student. He did some research. I'm going to go ahead and add a Scope Writer. Oh, I don't know where that went. Weird. Okay, Scope Writer, because again, that gives him some credibility because Scope asked him to write in there. Then over here is how do they feel about this? Keeping the planet healthy is reward enough for recycling. It's our home. Start using reusable containers. So I feel like both of those things are what we really need to focus on, because he's thinking that like there's so much trash out in the world that a lot of it could be solved just by using reusable containers. Okay? All right, so you're going to make sure again that you have filled in the purpose, point of view, and perspective for the no side of it as well. And then the last part we have here is for how are they like and different. I'm going to see if I can move this up a little bit. So I can, sorry, I want to move it up so I can see a little better. Here we go. All right, so it says, so you kind of have to go in and kind of see what are the similarities. So yes, they're both about recycling, but from the standpoint of like, they both think that recycling is a good thing. They don't say that they should get paid for it necessarily, but they say it's a good thing. So I started with that. Both Michelle and Jack say that the people should recycle. I like the fact that I'm using the names of the people who are saying it just because it kind of ties in, like, I'm not just saying, well, the person who said yes and the person who said no. I'm using their names that say it. That should recycle, okay? Michelle feels that there should be an incentive or payment for recycling in order to get more people to recycle. Jack feels that recycling and keeping the planet healthy is reward enough because this is our home. Michelle also feels that the money earned from recycling can help out our community. Jack thinks that we should be using more reusable containers to cut back on the amount of recyclables. Okay, so you can take my words if you would like to, if you want to change things up a little bit, but I want you to pay attention to the amount of information that I am saying in all the different points, because you're going to have to do that on your second slide for yourself for the next one. Okay, so again, you're going to just you can pause, you can type all the things, because I do want number one to look very similar to mine in the sense of knowing the amount of information that I want from that. But then you're going to be doing it number two. You're going to do exactly like this, except for it's just with a different article and a different idea of like a debate of some sort. Okay. So let me see what is happening here. I'm sorry. Oh, I don't know what's happening. Just quit. Now it's doing something funny. Okay. All right. So what you're going to do is you are going to go to number two. So number one should be done because you'd pause if you had to and kind of typed in whatever you need to type in. But number two is what we're going to focus on now, and that you're going to do this by yourself. And it's going to be very similar in the sense of how we did number one. So again, there is another link here that you're going to click on, and it's going to give you the situation first, just like I read before. And then after it gives you the situation, it's going to give you the first side, which is stop invading our privacy. And it's going to have the second side, which is tracking technology improves our lives. And then what you are going to do is you're going to go, okay, what is the purpose? What is the claim? What's the point of view? What's the perspective? Just like we did before with the first one, and then the same thing with the second one. And then at the very end, you will compare what is similar and what is different among those two things. Okay, so in order to find that, you're going to click on this. You're going to click here, and it's going to take you. It may have you log in again. If you need to log in again, you'll hit log in as a student, and then the password is EX2122. Okay, so this is it right here, and you're going to read this. You're going to click on, or not click on, sorry. You're going to read the situation first, which is all of this, and then it gets down to the actual debate. This is the first one, stop invading our privacy. So you'll look here, stop invading our privacy. And after you read that section, you're going to fill these things out. Okay. Then the second one is tracking technology improves our lives. You're going to read that. Once you get done reading that, you're going to fill out the second portion here. And then at the bottom, you're going to compare what is similar and what is different among those two ideas. Okay. All right. What I'm looking from you to make sure that you're 100% done is I just want you to email me that you got it done, and I will take a look at it to see. I am going to take a 3-point grade on this, so if you get it done, email me so I can give you that 3-point grade. If I do not get an email from you, I'm assuming that you did not do it, and I will put it in as a 0. So please make sure you email to let me know so I can go and look to see that you completed it. All right. That's all I have for you. Other than that, good luck, and I hope to see you next class. All right, thanks.